Hello, it's Randy Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Believe it.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randy Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
Candidate John Ossoff. Let me ask you, Mr. Ossoff, thank you for joining us tonight. What do you think about the latest Trump moves? Do you think Trump was right to bomb Syria?
Well, I think if U.S. intelligence confirmed that the Syrian military struck civilians with chemical weapons in a swift, punitive, limited strike was a reasonable response, but any further action should require congressional approval, and we can't get drawn in on the ground there.
Okay, what do you make of what's going on in South Korea? Are you a little nervous like I am? Other people are about we may be pushing Kim Jong-un a little too hard right now, and he might do something ballistic?
Well, we need to make sure we have the defensive systems in place to defeat the missile threat from North Korea, but I don't believe that the administration or any administration has the authority to preemptively strike North Korea. And
Okay, vote your ass off, everybody. Georgia 6th. Buckhead, baby, Buckhead. Get out there. Georgia 6 today. It's a special election to replace, the very conflicted HHS secretary currently, Tom Price. This is the replacement for him. And there are about 400,892 candidates running. Isn't that something? You have, 80 candidates. Really, I've never seen that many candidates. And all we're trying to do today is get you to vote your ass off, because this man, Ossoff, needs to get 50%. And then there'll be some sort of a runoff if he doesn't. So, everybody wants Tom Price's seat. Ew! Ew! But this special election in Georgia today could be a massive embarrassment for one Donald J. Trump, if he were capable of being embarrassed, which I'm not sure he is. Because today, Idiot Boy went to Wisconsin. And went to Snap-on Tools. Okay, everybody do your joke. And started telling them how he's going to, and he actually did, sign some executive order, some crazy executive order that he says will discourage the hiring of low-wage foreign workers on H-1B visas. Okay, right there, that makes no sense to me, because H-1B visas are for highly skilled workers. They're not for low-skilled workers. See, H-2B visas, those would be for lower-skilled workers who come here and work seasonally, like, where do they do that? Oh, where, the pressure of thinking. Trump does it at Mar-a-Lago. He hires on H-2B visas. I mean, I couldn't believe this dog and pony show here today in Wisconsin. I was stunned by it. I really do. So what he signed today, just so you know, and I'll play you some audio, but don't forget to vote your ass off if you're in Georgia 6 today. This is just audio. I don't have the video because it just happened. So I just recorded it as it happened. But is this it? Hang on. Oh. Yeah, this is it. But Trump went to freaking Wisconsin today and signed this executive order. Here's what's actually in it, and then I'll play you what he said about it, because it's not true. I mean, what he signed and what he said he signed are not the same thing. And God help us, I don't know if he knows or if he's just full of crap. But there is new polling that shows that nobody trusts him. It's very interesting. So what he signed today is an executive order that he claims will make it harder for technology companies to recruit low-wage workers from foreign countries who undercut Americans looking for jobs. Now, when you look further into this executive order, all it does is it directs federal agencies to systematically examine the effectiveness of government rules and trade agreements that require a preference for purchasing from American companies? Okay, let's break that down, shall we? He's going to examine whether or not it's effective to buy American. That is what this executive order is. And on the H-1B visa front, now we have about 85,000 people that come into this country on the H-1B visa program. The government admits about 85,000 immigrants every year to work in high-tech jobs. How many times have I told you that America has currently 5 million job openings in high tech that American workers cannot fill? So let's examine what would happen if we said that H-1B visas would be restricted and technology companies would no longer be able to import people with the skills they need to work at, let's say, Google, or to work at, a high-tech company. Well, let's say I'm running a high-tech company and I can't find somebody with the high-tech skills I need, and this is a recurring nightmare for me. And so I actually go to a recruiter who recruits overseas and gets people their H-1B visas so that they can come and work for my company. If the government takes away my ability to do that, guess what I do? I move my company to a place where there are high-skilled workers. Hey, douche, I'm so glad this executive order does nothing but review, because that is what you're going to find out. And in fact, this doesn't end the program in any way. And of course, the H-2B visas, which are for lower skilled workers that Trump benefits from, seasonal workers who come here to do everything from, build his buildings on, as well, they were illegal. The Polish people, they didn't even have visas. But, the people that work at Mar-a-Lago, they are seasonal workers that he imports from overseas rather than hiring American workers here who can and will work at Mar-a-Lago. So that this program of his that he loves, that he depends on to run his freaking golf club that keeps their visitors logs secret now. We have no idea who he golfs with. We have no idea who he talks to. We have no idea who's in Mar-a-Lago when he's making decisions about thermo-global nuclear war with North Korea. We have no idea who he's talking to. None. Not a clue. Not a hint, because the visitor logs are. But anyway, he does import these foreign workers on H-2B visas. That doesn't. This thing today has nothing to do with those jobs or those visas, only H-1Bs. And all this is a review. It doesn't end the program. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't keep any promise that Trump made to radically change immigration or to keep, nothing. It does nothing. And the officials said that 80% of the immigrants who enter the United States under the current visa program are paid less. So that does put them in competition with you. And people that worked in Orlando, work for Disney, you know what that's like to have H-1B high-tech visa applicants come in and you have to train them to do your job, and then you're fired because they'll work for less. So you would think that Trump would understand this, and he would say, if you come in on an H-1B visa, the company that applied for and got you your H-1B visa is now obligated to pay the going rate. Let's say the going rate that, when you Google what's the average salary for a high-tech worker at Google, and it tells you, the average salary for, a software designer is $45,000 or $65,000 a year. You would think that he would do that. You would think that that would be the executive order he signs that says that they have to be competitive in the salaries they offer in order to get the... No. He didn't do any of that. Nothing whatsoever. So the effect that it has... his review would be this is what Microsoft said. Okay, this is what well, actually, this is the Information Technology and Innovation Foundation. Okay, who advocates. They're a research group that does research, and they're sponsored by several tech companies. They said a crackdown on H-1B visas would be counterproductive, and here's why. This is Robert Atkinson, who works there. He said the effect would end up being exactly the opposite of what Mr. Trump wants. Companies would go offshore, like Microsoft did. They went to Vancouver, Canada. I don't think he knows what he's doing. That's just me. And about 65% of the American people. But anyway, let's play what he said today. I mean, this is just amazing. He's back to attacking China. I guess China's not going to help him on North Korea. I guess they're not. So he flips on China again and practically calls them, rapists again.
For too long, we've watched as our factories have been closed and our jobs have been sent to other faraway lands. We've lost 70,000 factories since China joined the World Trade Organization, and you've seen that. You've heard about it. 70,000. The World Trade Organization, another one of our disasters. But this election, the American people voted to end the theft of American prosperity. They voted to bring back their jobs and to bring back their dreams into our country. That's why I'm here today. In just a few moments, I will be signing a Buy American and Hire American executive order. You haven't heard about that in a long time in this country.
And that's not what you
With
signed.
this action, we are sending a powerful signal to the world. We're going to defend our workers, protect our jobs, and finally put America first.
No. No. No.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, really. I mean, it has absolutely nothing to do with what he signed. And in fact, if Trump wanted to make America great again, he could start by actually making the things he makes in America again. He's part of the reason the jobs are overseas. It keeps his business floating. No, you know those stupid hats everybody, he talked about, oh, those hats, what a great advertising tool they were. He actually said that today. What a great advertising. Look at those great America, make America great hats. He doesn't make them here. He refuses to make anything here at home. So here's where Donald Trump makes his stuff. Just a quick review. Trump ties are made in China. He could be making them at Gitman Brothers in Ashland, Pennsylvania. He could be making them at Commonwealth Proper in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Trump cufflinks, where he makes them in China. Could be making them at Sunshine and Whiskey Life LLC in Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania, or Starlight Woods in Cresco, Pennsylvania. Trump suits, he makes them in China and in Mexico. He could be making them at Commonwealth Proper in Philly, American Trench in Ardmore, Pennsylvania. He could be making them at Woolrich in Woolrich, Pennsylvania. Donald Trump shirts, he makes them in Bangladesh. He makes them in Mexico. He makes them in China. He makes them in Honduras. Where he could be making them. Gitman Brothers in Ashland, Pennsylvania. Collard Greens in Philadelphia. Trump Furniture. He makes them in Turkey. He makes furniture in freaking Turkey. Turkey just... All these lobbyists, the Flynn's, just as an aside, democracy lost really badly yesterday in Turkey. For anybody that's willing to follow it, it's sickening. It's disgusting. No more parliamentary democracy for Turkey. Oh, now you've got an emperor. Now you got an emperor. Erdogan is the emperor. But anyway, his furniture, he makes it in Turkey. He makes it in Germany, where he could be making them. Colonial Furniture Company in Freeburg, Pennsylvania. Snyder's Furniture in Gordonville, Pennsylvania. The Keystone Collections in Myerstown, Pennsylvania. Fisher's Quality Furniture in Ronks, Pennsylvania. Spectra Wood at State College, Pennsylvania. Cherry Acres, Southern Lancaster. These are just Pennsylvania, okay? This is just one state where he could be making his stuff. His barware. He makes it in Melania Trump, who had to nudge him yesterday. Did you see her have to nudge him to put his hand over his heart while they sang the national anthem? Did you see that? Boy, he's got eggs. He really does. And then he gave some great Make America Great Again speech to a bunch of little kids with wooden spoons in their hand. It was so wrong. On every level, this man is tone deaf. Anyway, his barware, he makes in Melania's Slovenia. And he could be making them at Anchor Hocking, Susquehanna Glass, Rolf Glass. These are all American manufacturers. His vodka is made in the Netherlands. He could be making it in Glenshaw, Pennsylvania. Boyd and Blair Potato Vodka. Had no idea. I learned something today. And his tie clips, he makes them in China. He could be doing that at Studebaker Metals or Starlight Woods. And, of course, the Trump mirrors, which apparently make your hair look normal when you look in them. They're made in India. And he could be making them at Huffman's Wooden Wood or Lostein in Philly. So shut up already about, our factory jobs. And today, the more he talked, the more you realized what he hasn't gotten done. It's amazing. This man is 89 days, almost 100 days in. Not one stinking piece of legislation. Nothing.
We're also working with Congress on tax reform and simplification. And we're on time if we get that health care approval. So press every one of you congressmen, press everybody, because we want to get that approval. And it just makes the tax reform easier, and it makes it better, and it's going to make it steeper. It's going to be bigger, and that's what we want to do. So we're in very good shape on tax reform. We have the concept of the plan. We're going to be announcing it very soon. But health care, we have to get the health care taken care of. And
okay, just so you understand, in case you don't, real briefly, he wants to throw 24 million people off of health care, and he wants to take the money that keeps people subsidized for their health care, people who get Medicaid. He'd like to take that money and give it to the richest Americans in the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of the world. That's why he needs to do the health care first. Unfortunately, don't tell the conservabots out there. Most of the Republican legislators are not willing to throw 24 million people off of health care in order to give a tax cut to the very wealthy. Shh. In fact, Dean freaking Heller in Nevada, he just switched on Planned Parenthood. These town hall meetings are working, baby. Keep doing it.
The Randi Rhodes Air Force. Air Force. RandiRhodes.com.
Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.